So this is kind of just to reinforce what I said at the start of why is AI a topic now, and why are we talking about it so much at the moment? And that's because of these three key principles. Again, is that you have a convergence of the cloud in terms of powering, the power of multiple computers. You have big data or comprehensive data that's coming from customers, and you have AI solutions that are then being combined together to provide these solutions to companies. So that, like the Litware example that I showed you guys before. Now, to show you probably the most horrible slide in my deck is the next one, but I think this is important to just give you an idea from how does because this is a little bit deeper down in the discussion, but I think it's important that everyone understands from a business perspective what is happening in AI and how is it made up. So there's three key pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that you need to think about when we talk about digital transformation and AI, is that you have the infrastructure. So that's basically the data piece. So where is all of your information being built upon, and how are you able to drive the compute power to leverage and use that data. Then you have the tools on the right hand side there, which is basically around how are we able to work with the data that's being stored in the cloud or that's being computed. So these are the kind of the ways of coordinating the data, and then on top of that there are AI services, and these are things like I showed you before, the bot framework, which is that conversational agent that we talked about before. There's the trained services, so cognitive services. So an example of the cognitive services that I showed you guys before was when you had the you actually had the person interacting with a conversational agent, but when you send things like pictures or voice verification, it's doing that through a cognitive service. And just to give you guys a bit of background on that, many companies are quite scared of the whole AI area, not just because of the news in the media, but also because of the complexities of going into it. So they might think, oh my God, if I want to do this, I've got to hire a data scientist. This is going to be really complicated. But many companies now provide pre-built services that customers can take their data, apply these services upon, for example, facial recognition or image recognition and so on, and really run very fast. So one example I just want to give you guys, since we're on this slide, that I think is very relevant and one that we can all associate with quite well is a company like Uber. So Uber, one of the challenges that they had was that many drivers were, they would have their phone and they would log into their phone, and then they would give their mobile phone to a friend because they were maybe tired, and they would then keep driving for them and keeping the business going. But what this was causing for customers was a challenge, because it created a moment of distrust with Uber, and it started people thinking, okay, I want to know that when I book the driver that I see in my application, that's going to be the guy who turns up to take me to my destination. So what they incorporated into their system was that almost every hour of the day, the driver has to use their phone to do, you might think of it kind of like the iPhone 10, where they do a facial scan they take a picture using their mobile phone. So they don't need a fancy phone. They just need to take a picture of their phone, of their face. And that's then sent to their cloud platform using our cognitive services to verify that that person who's driving that car is the driver that you've requested. And it also means that as soon as it's someone else, it would lock them out of the platform, so they can no longer earn money or take people on trips as a driver. And I think the reason why this one really plays well to me is that it's really about increasing safety for people. It's giving transparency to people who are there in what is already a very disruptive service within the market. But when you bring disruption, you have to back that up as well with trust that you give out. But again, this is all very nice and a nice slide, as I mentioned to you, with lots of different things on it. But one thing that we're working on, which is cutting edge, so this is literally something that I only learned about a couple of weeks ago, is that as well as having these available services to leverage, we're starting to now take some of these services ourselves and provide them as a solution to a customer so that they don't have to worry about all of these things around here, and they can focus on the value of an AI service, which is combining some of those pieces. So I'm going to talk about that in 1 second, but I'm just going to take a quick water break.